their submissions to this committee. So we stand by as Mbala Municipal Council make their submissions to the Committee on Local Government Accounts. Good afternoon and keep watching Parliament Television.
Breathtaking and thrilling. Visit Livingston City for pure adrenaline and fun. Let its thrills and spills inspire you. Livingston features arguably the best sunset views in the world. Memorable game viewing adventures in the small but well-stocked Municiple National Park, where you can see the rare white rhino. Experience the best of Zambia's rich culture and history at the Livingston Museum, or through visual and performing arts, food and folklore at the Bonfire by Night. And to crown them all, the awesome, majestic, mighty Victoria Falls, one of the 7 natural wonders of the world, known in local language as Municiple, the smoke that thunders. A visit to Livingston is incomplete if it does not include this world-famous icon. Some call it Zambia, but we call it home. One Zambia, one destination, limitless exploring. Zambia, let's explore.
Welcome, Town Clerk and your team. I wish to welcome you on behalf of the committee, our permanent witness, and indeed on my own behalf, to welcome Mbala Municipal Council to your committee, the Committee on Local Government Accounts, where you'll be presenting your memorandum on the report of the Auditor General for the financial year ending 31st December 2023. I wish to assure you that our deliberation and your submission is protected under Cap 12 of the laws of Zambia, which gives immunity to the honorable members of Parliament when they are in the House as well as the committee. The same immunity is extended to you and your team This means that what you submit here is protected and cannot be used against you in any courts of law or indeed outside Parliament, as long as it's factual and not misleading. Should you willfully mislead the committee, the same Cap 12 can be used against you. However, the committee is comforted that you would not choose to willfully mislead it. Hence, we ask you to feel free as we call upon you to make your submission. We shall begin our interaction with introductions. I now wish to call upon you, Town Clerk, to introduce yourself and allow your team members to also do introductions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon.
Good
afternoon, members of the committee. Good afternoon, permanent witnesses. I'm Laura Yumba Munkanta, the Town Clerk for Mbala Municipal Council. Chair, allow me to call upon my members to introduce themselves, starting from the far right.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, members of the committee. My name is Mwewali Bwesha, Director Planning.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, members of the committee, and good afternoon, permanent witnesses. My name is Francis Mukosha, Chief Internal Auditor.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, Honorable Committee. My name is Jeremiah Nguni, Director of Finance for Mbala Municipal Council.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, Committee, as well as the permanent witnesses. I'm Simpamba Solomon, Civil Engineer, but standing in for Director Engineering.
Where is the Director Engineering, Town Clerk?
Chair, for Mbala Municipal Council, I think we've really had a challenge in that department. The Director of Engineering, the one who was sent after the other one resigned, and we operated for 6 months without any key officer in that department. So the other one who was sent has also proceeded on leave, 1 year unpaid leave. So we have the engineers that are currently undertaking the works in that department.
Okay. Proceed with introductions.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members of the committee. My name is Godfrey Damsonda Mofia, Procurement Officer from Mbala Municipal Council. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, members of the committee, and good afternoon, permanent witnesses. My name is Faustina Manjombi, Director, Human Resource and Administration.
Thank you so much. We shall proceed with introductions, and now calling upon our permanent witness, starting with the Office of the Auditor General.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members of the committee. Good afternoon, Mbala Municipal Council. Good afternoon, team, and welcome to the committee. My name is Sira Nyirenda, Director in the Office of the Auditor General in Northern Province. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, members of the committee, and Mbala, good afternoon. My name is William Chibesa, Assistant Director, Office of the Auditor General, Kasama. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Simon Munyama from the Planning and Research Department, Office of the Auditor General.
Good afternoon. I'm Lovinda Sinyani from the Planning and Research Department in the Office of the Auditor General. Thank you.
Thank you. Ministry of Finance.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members. Good afternoon, Mbala Municipal Council. My name is Katulwende Matthews from the Office of the Control of Internal Audit. Thank you.
Thank you. Ministry of Local Government.
Thank you, Chair, and good afternoon to you and the honorable members of your committee. Welcome, Mbala Municipal Council. I'm Kazinga Kennedy from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members of the committee. Mbala Municipal Council, good afternoon and you're welcome. My name is Joyce Kubansa from Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our secretarial team from Office of the Clerk.
Thank you, Chair, and good afternoon once again. My name is Maxwell Chireka from the Office of the Clerk.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tokozile Chaponda from the Office of the Clerk.
Chair, thank you. TC and your team, you're welcome. Emmanuel Walia from the Office of the Clerk.
Thank you so much. I now wish to call upon the honorable members of the committee, starting with the honorable MP for Mangango.
Thank you so much, Chair. Good afternoon to you. Afternoon, fellow honorable members of Parliament. Good afternoon, our permanent witness. Good afternoon, Mbala Municipal Council. Afternoon, our viewers and the listeners out there. I'm Lohamba Mwene, representing the good people of Mangango, and I'm a member on this committee. Thank you.
Thank you. The honorable MP for Mufumbwe.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, and good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Mbala, and you're welcome to your committee. My name is Elliot Kamondo. I'm MP from Fumbwe.
Thank you. The honorable MP for Mitete.
Chair, thank you so very much. TC and your team, you are welcome to your committee. Chair, we have 3 ladies. I thought you should have commented in the first place. Mudelo Misheki, your servant from Mitete, humble servant. Be calm. You're welcome.
The honorable MP for Mitete is very happy to see a female-led delegation. That's what he was trying to say. I adopt your comment as mine, Honorable Muteno. Yes, Honorable MP for Kaumbwe.
Thank you, Chair, and good afternoon, Mbala. Welcome to your committee. I'm Honorable Dr. Aaron Mwanza, Member of Parliament for Kaumbwe constituency in Petauke District of the Eastern Province. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The Honorable MP for Siavonga.
So, good afternoon, Chair. Afternoon, permanent witnesses. Afternoon, Mbala Municipal Council. Afternoon, colleagues. Afternoon, Honorable Kamondo. Afternoon. Thank you. My name is Mulunda Darius, Member of Parliament for Siavonga constituency. I'm the member of this committee, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Honorable Kamondo, you're being greeted. Good afternoon to you. Town Clerk and your team, my name is Christopher Shakafuso. I'm Member of Parliament for Mandevu. We are privileged as Mandevu to host the National Assembly of Zambia. So you are welcome to Mandevu constituency. I'm Vice Chairperson of the committee and I'm privileged to chair this session. I now wish to call upon you on behalf of the committee to submit your memorandum.
Thank you, Chair. Before I move to the report, I would like to present additional documents to the earlier appendices that we submitted, Chair.
Please go ahead. What are you submitting?
We are submitting additional information to Appendix 4 and Appendix 24 of our report.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. I'll now take you to the report from Mbala Municipal Council on the memorandum to the Local Government Accounts Committee on the audit of Mbala Municipal Council cited in the Auditor General's report on the audit of accounts for the financial year ended 31st December 2023 from paragraph 94 and appendices 2, 15, 21, 22, 28, 29, 31, and 32, Chair. I'll go straight to the audit findings. Under budget, income and expenditure. Chair, I'll go to the budget, income and expenditure, and I'll go to the management response. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wishes to report that of the query and action taken as shown in the table. So, Chair, we have the table on the next page, that is page 2, and we have local taxes, variance of 194,329. Cause of the query, the council issued remand notice at the time of the audit. The ratepayers did not honor. And the action taken, Chair, the council conducted sensitizations and offered tax rebate. Persistent non-compliant stance by the ratepayers has made the council to issue warrants of distress on the defaulters. Chair, this is appearing on Appendix 1. Fees and charges, variance of 407,219. Cause of query, delayed numbering of plots in identified locations within town by the Ministry of Lands made the council to lose out on revenue from plot premium charges. And the action taken, the council was prompted to write to Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources requesting for a corporate account to be opened for the local authority on the newly introduced Zambia Integrated Land Administration System to enable ease access to services. So this is appearing on Appendix 2. Licenses. Chair, the positive variance of 82,530 because of the query. Council's intensified effort by constituting task force through collection of category made the council to realize collections were above the budgeted amount for the financial year. Okay. Council will endeavor to draw realistic annual estimates of revenue realizable from issuance of licenses and avoid under budgeting. Levies, Chair, negative variance of 108,323. Council incurred an under collection under levies due to resistance by big grain buyers in the district, like Food Reserve Agency, the grain levies that the local authority imposes on them. The action taken, Chair, Council had engaged grain dealers like FRA on the modalities of helping the council on collecting grain levy from farmers selling their grain and having the collected revenues remitted to the local authority. So we have an Appendix 3, Chair. Limits a negative variance of 1,641. Cause of variance was due to an overestimation of what was due to be collected and category during, and the action taken to draw realistic annual estimates of revenue realizable under the revenue category to avoid overestimation. Other rates, Chair, where we had a positive variance of 1,130,690. The cause of on behalf of the government. 1,130,000 comprised interest received on the CDF bank accounts, CDF loan repayments, and other receipts in form of Electoral Commission of Zambia, funding arrangements under National Rural Water Supply, and revenues per se, the same are required to be reported on the financial statements in accordance with the cash basis International Public Sector Accounting Standards, IPSAS, and the local authority accounting policies. To follow the IPSAS, the preparation of financial statements, making adequate disclosures of composition of sources of funds administered. Commercial venture, Chair, where we had a positive variance of 5,728,000. The council had put its guest house under renovation and it is in a deplorable state and did not expect to collect any revenue under review. The commercial venture realized a 1,728 after opening renovated chalets at the end of the period under review. The council will endeavor to make adequate but realistic revenue estimates for commercial ventures commensurate with the level of its operations. National Support Chair, Local Government Equalization Fund, where we had a negative variance of 2,055,000. The council only received a total of 12,943,973 during the period under review out of the budgeted 14,999,610, leading to incurring an under collection of 2,055,037. Council will endeavor to follow the issued budgeting guidelines that give guidance on the amounts of local government equalization fund to provide for it in its annual estimates. Other grants, Chair, where we had a negative variance of 10,000. The council had made a provision of 510,000 to be received from the central government in form of grant in lieu of rates. However, it only received 500,000, recording an under collection of 10,000. Action taken, council will endeavor to follow the issued budgeting guidelines that give guidance on the amounts of grant in lieu of rates to provide for in its annual estimates. Chair, I'll move to the second query, which is on unspent funds of 1,518,219. Cause of query: management acknowledges the observations made by the auditors to report that the unspent funds 518,219 were bank accounts balances as at 31st December 2023, most of whose expenditures were actioned in the first quarter of 2024. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that the funds have since been utilized on the operations and capital components as planned. So, you can refer to Appendix 4, Chair. Remedial measure. Management wishes to report that the council will endeavor to spend the funds on their intended purposes timely to avoid disruption of its institutional programs. Chair, I'll move to
you can move. This one is encompassed in the first query.
Yes, Chair.
So you can go to page 8 to state the query there, and then you proceed to page 9 to give us your response.
Thank you, Chair. Deliverable targets, outputs not achieved. So, Chair, I'll go to the management response. Holding of special committee meetings, cause of the query. Management acknowledges the auditor's observation and wishes to report that the council did not hold the targeted 2 special committee meetings as there was no special incidental or urgent matters that could warrant holding special committee meetings during the period under review. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that the Council will ensure that realistic targets are drawn and avoid overestimation. Remedial measure. Management wishes to report that the Council will endeavor to draw realistic targets when formulating its annual plans. I'll move to holding of special Council meetings. Cause of the query. Management acknowledges the auditor's observation and wishes to report that Council did not hold the targeted one special Council meeting, as there was no special incidental or urgent matters that could warrant holding a special Council meeting during the period under review. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that the Council will ensure that realistic targets are drawn and avoid overestimation. Remedial measure. Management wishes to report that the Council will endeavor to draw realistic targets when formulating its annual plans. Develop integrated development plan. Cause of the query. Management acknowledges the auditor's observation and wishes to report that the Council did not complete the preparation of the IDP during the period under review, as the development of the same was still in progress at the time of audit. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that with the authority to use part of constituency development funds in the development of the IDP, the development of the same was successfully completed in 2024 and was launched on 24th January 2025. We have Appendix 5, Chair. Remedial measure. Management wishes to report that the Council will endeavor to draw realistic targets at planning stage to avoid overestimation. Training of WDCs in cross-cutting issues. Cause of the query, Chair. Management acknowledges the auditor's observation and wishes to report that the Council had combined the activities of training WDCs in cross-cutting issues with the conduct of capacity building of WDCs after being elected into office. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that the Council had combined the activities of training WDCs in cross-cutting issues with the conduct of capacity building of the WDCs after they are being elected into office. So we have Appendix 6, Chair, there. Remedial measure. Management wishes to report that the Council will endeavor to draw realistic targets at planning stage to avoid overestimation. I move to creation of plots, Chair. Cause of the query. Management acknowledges the auditor's observation and wishes to report that delayed numbering of plots on identified locations within town by the Lands and Natural Resources caused the Council to only successfully create 80 plots out of the targeted 200 plots. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that delayed numbering of plots on identified locations within the town by the Ministry of Lands made the Council to lose out on the revenue from plot premium charges. The continued delays prompted the Council to write to Ministry of Land and Natural Resources requesting for a corporate account to be opened for the local authority on the newly introduced Zambia Integrated Land Administration System. This would enable the local authority chair to be logging in whenever the services of the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources are sought. The system would also expedite the processes of numbering of parcels of land, for instance. So we have Appendix 2. Conducting environmental compliance spot checks. Cause of the query, Chair. Management acknowledges the auditor's observation and wishes to report that the Council targeted to conduct 4 environmental compliance spot checks during the period under review, out of which only 2 were conducted due to financial constraints. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that the Council will ensure that realistic targets are drawn and avoid overestimation. And the remedial measure. management wishes to report that the Council will endeavor to draw realistic targets at planning stage to avoid overestimation. Developing workplace policies. Cause of the query, Chair. Management acknowledges the observation made by the auditors and wishes to report that the Council had not developed workplace policies during the period under review, as the work was still in progress at the time of audit. The action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that the Council has developed 2 workplace policies, namely the gift policy and the whistleblower policy. So we have Appendix 7, Chair, speaking to that. Remedial measure. Management wishes to report that the Council will endeavor to draw realistic targets at planning stage to avoid overestimation. Processing of liquor licenses. Cause of the query. Management acknowledges the observations made by the auditors and wishes to report that the Council did not process any liquor licenses out of the planned 55 to be processed during the period under review, since the liquor licenses that were issued 2 years back were still valid, as they ran for 3 years according to the Liquor Licensing Act. In this regard, the targeted level of 55 liquor licenses to have been issued was an overstated target. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that the Council will ensure that realistic targets are drawn and avoid overestimation. Remedial measure. Management wishes to report that the Council will endeavor to draw realistic targets at planning stage to avoid overestimation. Operationalize Council business ventures. Cause of the query, Chair. Management acknowledges the observations made by the auditors and wishes to report that the Council did not operationalize 2 business ventures it conceived, namely rearing of chickens and pigs, due to lack of startup capital. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that the Council will ensure that realistic targets are drawn and avoid overestimation. And the remedial measure, Chair. Management wishes to report that the management acknowledges the observations made by the auditors and wishes to report that the Council targeted to hold 4 business shows during the period under review, out of which only 2 were held, namely the Public Service Day and African Day of Decentralization. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the Council also managed to showcase its operations at the Agriculture Show and the Omotomolo traditional ceremony of the Lungu Mambwe people, where it showcased its operations. So, Chair, we have Appendix 8 speaking to that. Remedial measure. Management wishes to report that the Council will endeavor to draw realistic targets at planning stage which can be attained during a particular budget year and avoid overestimation. I'll move to conducting sensitization campaigns. Chair, cause of the query. Management acknowledges the observations made by the auditors and wishes to report that the Council targeted to conduct 12 sensitization campaigns during the period under review, out of which 10 were conducted, leaving 2 sensitization campaigns not conducted due to financial constraints. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that the Council will ensure that realistic targets are drawn and avoid overestimation. The remedial measure. And the remedial measure, management wishes to report that the Council will endeavor to draw realistic targets and at planning stage to avoid overestimation. I move to mapping of grave sites. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the observations made by the auditors and wishes to report that the Council undertook the activity in December 2023 and the map was duly developed, Chair. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the Council undertook the exercise in December 2023 and the map or site plan was developed. So we are speaking to Appendix 9, Chair. Remedial measure. management wishes to report that the council will endeavor to draw realistic targets at planning stage to avoid overestimation. Chair, I move to conducting food samples inspections. Cause of the query: management acknowledges the observations made by the auditors and wishes to report that the council did not conduct food sample inspections during the period under review as planned due to financial constraints. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that the council will ensure that realistic targets are drawn and avoid overestimation. Nevertheless, management wishes to further report that water sample analysis was being done since the same was being done locally. Remedial measure, Chair. Management wishes to report that the council will endeavor to draw realistic targets at planning stage to avoid overestimation. Construction of market shelter, Chair. Cause of query: management acknowledges the observation made by the auditors and wishes to report that did not construct at Mbala market as planned during the period under review due to financial constraints. The council planned to construct a market shelter at Mbala market in 2023 using the CDF. However, due to other competing needs, the council failed to secure the needed funds under the 2023 CDF allocation. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that the council reapplied successfully under the 2024 CDF allocation. However, the project is under reconsideration as there is need the scope of works additional funds under the 2025 CDF allocation. So we have Appendix 10, Chair, speaking to that. Remedial measure: management wishes to report that the council will endeavor to draw realistic targets at planning stage to avoid overestimation. Maintaining of street lights, Chair. Cause of query: management acknowledges the observations made by the auditors and wishes to report that the project of maintaining 90 street lights could not take off in 2023 due to funding challenges. And the action taken: management wishes to report that funding challenges could not enable the council implement the project to rehabilitate 90 street lights as planned. Nevertheless, as soon as funds are secured for the activity, the street lights rehabilitation project will be undertaken. The council is also to undertake sensitization campaigns targeted at protecting the installed street lights from being vandalized by the community, as there is rampant vandalism of public infrastructure in the district. Remedial measure, Chair. Management wishes to report that the council will ensure that the funds are secured to implement the project. Rehabilitating Civic Center. Cause of the query, Chair. Management acknowledges the observations made by the auditors and wishes to report that during the period under review, the council was unable to undertake the activity due to liquidity challenges. Action taken: management wishes to report that due to financial challenges, the stated activity could not be undertaken. However, the activity was started and partially undertaken during the 2024 financial year. Chair, we have Appendix 11 speaking to that. And remedial measure: management wishes to report that the council will endeavor to draw realistic targets at planning stage to avoid overestimation. You are rehabilitating Finance Department building. Cause of the query: management acknowledges the observations made by the auditors and wishes to report that during the period under review, the council was unable to undertake the activity due to liquidity challenges. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that due to financial challenges, the stated activity could not be undertaken. However, the council in 2024 commenced the rehabilitation of the building, starting with installation of new ablution block facilities. Further, management wishes to report that part of the building has been reserved for Indo-Zambia Bank that would be occupying it under lease arrangement with the council and will undertake the rehabilitation of the office space prior to taking occupation of the same once the lease agreement has been signed. Chair, we have Appendix 12 speaking to that. The remedial measure. Management wishes to report that the council will endeavor to draw realistic targets at planning stage to avoid overestimation. Construction of grasshopper wall fence. That's another target, Chair, we had. Cause of the query. Management acknowledges the observations made by the auditors and wishes to report that during the period under review, the council was unable to undertake the activity due to liquidity challenges. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that the council has secured funds amounting to 1 million under the 2024 CDF allocation that will go towards rehabilitation of Grasshopper Inn with a view of revamping the operations of the facility. Looking at the amount of money that was approved, the council will prioritize operationalizing the bar at the moment. So we have Appendix 13, Chair, speaking to that. Remedial measure. Management wishes to report that the council will endeavor to draw realistic targets at planning stage to avoid overestimation. I move to maintaining of council heavy duty.
This one has been rested by the Office of Auditor General. You can go to the next one.
Thank you, Chair. I move to formation of women's skills clubs. Cause of the query. Management acknowledges the observations made by the auditors and wishes to report that the adverse variance was due to an overestimation done at the planning stage. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that the council will ensure that realistic targets are drawn and avoid overestimation. Chair, I move to enrolling of adults in literacy programs. The cause of the query. Management acknowledges the observations made by the auditors and wishes to report that the council worked hand in hand with the Department of Community Development in undertaking the activity. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that with the devolution of community development functions to the council in 2025, their activity will be successfully undertaken. Remedial measure, Chair. Management wishes to report that the council will endeavor to work with the Department of Community in executing the adult literacy programs. Chair, I move to the target of training of council police officers. Cause of the query. Management acknowledges the observation made by the auditors and wishes to report that the council did not send any of the council police officers for training, as Chalimbana Local Government Service In-Service Training Institute did not float any council police training programs during the period under review. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that at the beginning of 2025, the council sent 3 council police officers to the In-Service Training Institute for training following the floating of the said training program by the Institute. Further, 3 more council police are yet to attend the second session of the training program to take place in the next few months as designed by the Ministry. The Honorable Committee may refer to Appendix 15. Remedial measure, Chair. Management wishes to report that the council will endeavor to draw realistic targets at planning stage to avoid overestimation. Chair, I move to the target of training of staff. Cause of the query. Management acknowledges the observation made by the auditors and wishes to report that the council managed to send 3 officers for training between August and December 2023 out of the planned 5 officers that were supposed to have been sent for training due to financial constraints the local authority experienced during the period under review. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that the council during the period under review sent 3 officers for training at National Fire Service Training School and Africa Fire Mission to undergo fire prevention and fire investigation courses respectively. So we
Can
have
we go to the next one? This is the one you were just reading before. So let's go to the next one.
Okay. Preparation of an annual budget. Cause of the query, Chair. Management acknowledges the observation made by the auditors and wishes to report that preparation of the council budget for the ensuing year 2024 financial year was done during the last quarter of 2023, and the approval of the 2024 council budget was done in the first quarter of 2024. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that the council duly prepared the 2024 council budget in the last quarter of 2023, and its ministerial approval was delivered on 21st March 2024. Appendix 17. Remedial measure, Chair. Management wishes to report that the council will endeavor to timely have its annual budgets prepared and duly approved by the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development prior to undertaking planned activities for respective financial years. Chair, I move to liquidating of council debt, which was also our target. Cause of the query. Management acknowledges the observation made by the auditors and wishes to report that the council was not able to liquidate 100% of the debt it planned to partially settle during the period under review due to liquidity challenges it was facing. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the council in its 2023 budget planned to liquidate 1,200,000 of the total debt, out of which 347,447, which represents 29% of the budgeted figure, was realized. Further, management wishes to report that on request by the council for grant in lieu of rates funding, the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development paid one retiree 600,000 on behalf of the council instead of remitting the requested funds directly to the council. So we have Appendix 18, Chair. Remedial measure. Management wishes to report that the council will endeavor to draw realistic targets at planning stage to avoid overestimation. Chair, I move to collection of revenue, 98%, sorry, Chair. Cause of the query. Management acknowledges the observation made by the auditors and wishes to report that the council managed to attain 98% revenue collection efficiency out of the total 2023 revenue estimates. Nevertheless, the council has instituted measures to enhance its collection, one of which is to use the bailiffs that will pursue defaulting ratepayers as alluded to in the preceding paragraphs of the report. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that the council has instituted measures to enhance its collection, one of which is the use of bailiffs that will pursue defaulting ratepayers as alluded to in the preceding paragraphs of the report. So we have Appendix 1 speaking to that. Remedial measure, Chair. Management wishes to report that the council will endeavor to draw realistic targets at planning stage to avoid overestimation. Chair, I move to the target of updating of valuation row. Cause of the query. Management acknowledges the observation made by the auditors and wishes to report that during the period under review, the council was unable to undertake the activity due to liquidity challenges, as the activity requires a lot of financial resources for it to be undertaken looking at the number of processes involved. The action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that the council has made provisions for the exercise in its 2025 budget in the view of the lifespan of the current valuation row. The remedial measure, Chair. Management wishes to report that the council will endeavor to have the valuation row revised using the financial resources provided for in its 2025 budget. I move to the target of introducing of e-services, Chair. Cause of the query. Management acknowledges the observation made by the auditors and wishes to report that the Council did not implement the e-services it was to introduce in 2023, as it did not manage to identify a financial institution it could partner with in introducing the e-services to its clients. The only bank in the district, that is Access Bank, was not ready to provide that window to the Council during the period under review. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that during the last quarter of 2024, the Council engaged Indo-Zambia Bank, that is Kasama branch, to explore the possibility of it partnering with the Council in providing the e-services. In this regard, the Council will be signing an agreement with the bank to provide a platform where Council clients can be depositing monies directly into an established bank account maintained with the bank using the point of sale machines the bank will lease to Council once the agreement is signed. Remedial measure, Chair. Management wishes to report that Council will endeavor to ensure that it sets realistic targets at a planning stage and mobilize enough financial resources to finance implementation of planned activities. Chair, I move to C, that is procurement of goods and services. Query, irregular procurement above market price index. Cause of the query, Chair. Management acknowledges the observation made by the auditors and wishes to report that originally the Council intended to procure 5,000 litres and 10,000 litres PVC water tanks for the town centre and Kasenga markets respectively, as indicated on the drawn purchase order. As there was no supplier of the said goods in the district, the Council had to source from outside the district. The supplier identified, that is Davis and Shetleaf, based in Mkushi, with their head offices in Lusaka. The supplier has a good business reputation of supplying quality goods and offering after-sale services. Further, the supplier only had 5,000 litres PVC water tanks in stock, and the price for a 5,000 litre water tank indicated in the market price index was lower than the actual market price. In this regard, as guided by the Section 12(4) of the Public Procurement Act number 8 of 2020, the Council conducted a price reasonableness analysis using the allocated budget that it had set aside for the procurement of the water tanks. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that, having noted that the supplier did not have the 10,000 litres PVC water tanks in stock, the Council decided to procure 2 500 litres PVC water tanks. Further, since the price for a 5,000 litres PVC water tank indicated in the MPI was lower than the actual market price, the Council conducted a price reasonableness analysis using the allocated budget that it had set aside for the procurement of water tanks in line with Section 12(4) of the Public Procurement Act number 8 of 2020, which states that a procuring entity shall, where an item to be procured is not covered in the quarterly MPI, undertake a price reasonableness analysis subject to approval of the authority as prescribed. Chair, we have Appendix 19 speaking to that. And the remedial measure, management wishes to report that the Council will endeavour to follow procurement procedures as prescribed in the Public Procurement Act number 8 of 2020 when undertaking procurement transactions. Chair, I move to failure to withhold and remit tax. Cause of the query, management acknowledges the auditor's observation and wishes to report that the Council will engage the ZRA to have the accounting officers trained in VAT administration to equip themselves with the knowledge on how to administer VAT. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that the Council stands ready to perform tax agency roles and collect taxes on behalf of ZRA as directed by the government. The council will engage the ZRA to conduct a training session for its accounting staff to have VAT collected from the council suppliers and contractors. Remedial measure, Chair. Management wishes to report that council will ensure that ZRA officials are invited to capacity build council accounting staff in order to have VAT collected from council suppliers and contractors. Chair, I move to D.
Like I had stated earlier, so D has also is the same query that has been raised by the Office of the Auditor General.
Thank you, Chair. I move to management of local government equalization funds, that is 20% for capital projects. Cause of the query, management acknowledges the auditor's observation and wishes to report that due to critical financial challenges that threatened the council's service delivery mandate during the period under review, the stated amount was borrowed by the council to meet its operational needs with a view of reimbursing the capital projects account when its financial position improves. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that the council has put in measures to enhance collection to reimburse the money that was borrowed from the capital funds account, with some reimbursements that were done and measures put in place to restrict borrowing from capital funds in 2023. A number of capital projects were implemented, some of which were refurbishing the chalets and partial rehabilitation of the conference room at Grasshopper Guest House, construction of ablution block at Mbulu Market, rehabilitation of one institutional house, rehabilitation of 2 market shelters, rehabilitation of bus station, and procurement of 2 500 liters PVC water tanks. The honorable members may refer to Appendix 20. Remedial measure, Chair. Management wishes to report that the council will ensure that the borrowed capital funds are reimbursed with the help of the revenue mobilization enhancement measures stated earlier. Chair, I move to E, provision of services, that is failure to maintain township infrastructure. Cause of the query, management acknowledges the observations made by the auditors and wishes to report that the council was unable to undertake the stated activities due to the financial challenges it faced during the period under review. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to state that 25 kilometers of the roads have been worked on using 4 main sources of funds, namely Land Development Fund, CDF, the funds under the devolved transport services functions, and own source revenue. The CDF committee approved a total of 8 kilometers of township and rural roads to be rehabilitated at a total cost of 533,430 using the 2023 allocation, and the program was a success. In the same vein, Chair, after the council was in receipt of a letter from the Ministry guiding on how to utilize the funds coming under the devolved transport services function, the local authority in 2024 commenced rehabilitation of 8.1 kilometers stretch of roads. The council has even procured the road patching materials for patching of 3rd township roads. Further, the council is currently working on the road with the Road Development Agency to reconstruct a damaged bridge across the Mbulu stream along the Independence Road that cuts across the Central Business District, going to Zombe border post at the border with Tanzania. The construction of a bridge across Mbulu stream will culminate in the rehabilitation of the whole road up to the border post. The bridge construction works are progressing on very well. Further, the council, in conjunction with the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, has come up with an assessment report and the Bureau of Quantities in respect of the works to be carried out on the unfenced Zambia compound storm drain, which has since been submitted to the Ministry of Infrastructure, Chair there, not Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, through the Office of the Area Member of Parliament. In August 2023, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources approved $2,500,000 that was disbursed through Zambia National Service that was contracted to work on identified township roads and opening up of new access roads with a total distance of 9 kilometers, works which were successfully done between May and August of 2024. Remedial measure, Chair. Management wishes to report that the Council will endeavor to maintain the township road infrastructure, especially now that it has managed to secure equipment and materials for the maintenance of the same infrastructure in the district through various sources of funding stated above. Chair, I now move to cross-cutting issues, where we have the budget funding and expenditure. Cause of the query, Chair. Management acknowledges the observations made by the auditors and wishes to report that the unspent funds were bank accounts balances as at 31st December 2023, whose expenditures were actioned in the first quarter of 2024. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the funds have since been utilized on the operations and capital components as planned. Remedial measure, Chair. Management wishes to report that the Council will endeavor to spend the funds on their intended purposes timely to avoid disruption of its institutional programs. Chair, I move to the query of overemployment of staff, that is from Appendix 15 of the Auditor General's report. Cause of the query. Management acknowledges the auditor's observation and wishes to report that the Council received from the Local Government Service Commission 5 officers instead of 3 for the position of sub-officer, leading to an overemployment in that category of officers. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that the Council recommended to the Local Government Service Commission through staff retains to have the 2 officers promoted to the next higher position where vacancies existed. So, Chair, we have Appendix 22 speaking to that. Remedial measure. Management wishes to report that the Council will endeavor to continue submitting updated staff retains to the Local Government Service Commission. Chair, I move to failure to secure motor vehicles / buildings. Cause of the query. Management acknowledges the observation made by the auditors and wishes to report that the reported status was due to the financial challenges the Council was facing, which resulted in not insuring the motor vehicles on time. Action taken. Management wishes to report that Council had engaged Zambia State Insurance Corporation to have the motor vehicles insured with total amount of premiums to be settled in installments in view of the poor liquidity position the Council was in. Having established the insurance premiums payment plan with ZISC, the 6 motor vehicles were insured as at 31st December 2024. So we have Appendix 23, Chair speaking to that. Remedial measure. Management wishes to report that with the established work relation with ZISC, where the insurance company has agreed to have the motor vehicles of the Council insured and enabling Council to settle the premiums for insurance covers over a period of time, the Council will ensure that the serviceable motor vehicles are insured at all times. Chair, I move to failure to maintain Council properties. Cause of the query. Management wishes to acknowledge the observation raised by the auditors and wishes to report that the Council's inability to rehabilitate the property in question was due to financial difficulties faced during the period under review. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that due to the liquidity challenges the Council was facing, most of its infrastructure are in a bad state. In this regard, the Council has instituted a phased-out approach to rehabilitating its properties, whereby Grasshopper Inn has been prioritized and is in phase 1. The Council successfully applied for funding and an initial 1 million under the 2024 CDF allocation was approved. The rehabilitation works are at stage 1 of phase 1 using the 1 million, comprising rehabilitation and finishing of the bar at procurement stage. Further, management wishes to report that the rehabilitation works of fire brigade offices and the council house will be undertaken as and when funds are available. Remedial measure, Chair. Management wishes to report that council will endeavor to have its property rehabilitated and kept in habitable condition using any available source of funding. Chair, I move to Appendix 28 of the Auditor General's report, that is failure to settle statutory and other obligations. Cause of the query. Management wishes to report that the Council's failure to settle statutory obligations as they fell due was due to critical financial constraints arising from the narrow revenue base and resistance by the local taxes payers to settle their dues. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that in order to enhance its collection, the Council has instituted measures as stated in the preceding paragraphs of the report. Further, management wishes to report that outstanding union LASIF dues are currently being deducted at source as the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development remits the Council's monthly Local Government Equalization Fund. So, Chair, I refer to Appendix 1. Remedial measures. As way forward, management wishes to report that measures have been instituted to improve Council's liquidity position, which in turn will enable the Council liquidate its stated indebtedness. The arrangement where the Ministry make monthly deductions at source as it remits the monthly Local Government Equalization Fund will remain in force, as it is one sure way of reducing the Council's indebtedness to the said institutions. Chair, I move to Appendix 29, that is failure to settle staff obligations. Cause of the query. Management wishes to report that the Council's failure to settle its staff obligations as they fell due was due to critical financial constraints arising from the narrow revenue base and resistance by the local taxes payers to settle their dues. This made the Council to fail to meet its obligations as they fell due. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that in order to enhance its collection, the Council has instituted measures as stated in the preceding paragraphs of the report. The revenue collection measures will assist the Council to improve its liquidity position to assist in dismantling its indebtedness to its staff. Chair, I draw your attention to Appendix 31, Management of Local Government Equalization Fund. Cause of the query. Management acknowledges the auditor's observation and wishes to report that due to critical financial challenges that threatened the Council's service delivery mandate during the period under review, the stated level of borrowing from capital project funds was done in order to meet operational needs with a view of reimbursing the capital projects account when its financial position improves. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that the Council has put in measures to enhance collection to reimburse the money that was borrowed from the capital funds account. With some reimbursements that were done and strict measures put in place not to borrow capital funds in 2023, a number of capital projects were implemented, some of which were refurbishing the chalets and partial rehabilitation of conference rooms at Grasshopper House, and then construction of ablution block at Mbala Market, rehabilitation of one institutional house, the rehabilitation of 2 market shelters, rehabilitation of bus station, and procurement of 2 500 liters PVC water tanks. Chair, we have Appendix 24 speaking to that. The Honorable Committee may also refer to Appendix 20, showing some projects that were implemented, as well as Appendix 4, Chair. Remedial measure. Management wishes to report that the Council will ensure that borrowed capital funds are reimbursed with the help of the revenue mobilization enhancement measures stated above. Chair, I draw your attention to Appendix 32 of the Auditor General's report, that is failure to transfer funds to capital account. Cause of the query, Chair. Management acknowledges the auditor's observation and wishes to report that due to critical financial challenges that threatened the Council's service delivery mandate during the period under review, the stated level of borrowing from capital project funds was done in order to meet its operational needs with a view of reimbursing the capital projects account when its financial position improves. The action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report the Council has put in place measures to enhance collection to reimburse the money that was borrowed from the capital funds. With some of the reimbursements that were done and measures put in place to not to borrow capital funds, a number of projects were implemented as already stated, Chair. Remedial measure. Management wishes to report that Council will ensure that borrowed capital funds are reimbursed to the capital projects account. Chair, I rest my case.
Thank you so much, Town Clerk, for your presentation. Yes, please drink water. You can drink some more. That was a long presentation. I will now invite the honorable members to raise points of clarifications. We'll start with Honorable Dr. Manza.
We can go to page 31.
Page 31.
So on page 31, there's the query failure to maintain council properties. In this case, there are 3 properties, and what is described here is the Grasshopper Inn. The action taken is that management wishes to report that due to the liquidity challenges the council was facing, most of the infrastructure are in bad state. In this regard, the council has instituted a phased-out approach, rehabilitating its properties, whereby Grasshopper Inn, the guest house, has been prioritized and is in phase 1. Council successfully applied for funding and an initial 1 million kwacha under the 2024 CDF allocation was approved. The rehabilitation works under stage. Well, my point of clarification that I want to seek, which is actually through Appendix 13, is that Council Grasshopper Inn is council property, and it is a council commercial venture. You have gone further to seek for finance from CDF 2024, and you have been granted to use. You have been granted 1 million kwacha from the CDF to rehabilitate a commercial venture, which is the Grasshopper Inn. This 1 million kwacha from this CDF it's the commercial venture, how will the constituents, I don't know how many constituencies are in Mbala? One.
We have one constituency.
Okay, so the CDF for Mbala constituency, in that constituency, how does the 1 million kwacha fall under community projects to fund Grasshopper Inn, which is a commercial venture? Because CDF, the capital community projects, the community projects component are meant for community projects that are not business ventures, and they benefit just the community. But in this case, how will the constituents benefit from the rehabilitation of Grasshopper Inn?
TC? On the same?
On the same.
Let's be taking note.
Just to augment on my colleagues, that 1 million is coming from CDF, and this one is going purely to the council operations. Why didn't you use the 20% equalization fund to fund that one and leave this out of this?
TC, your mic.
Thank you, Chair. The Honorable Member for Kaumbwe has raised an issue of how we managed to secure the 1 million from the community.
No, not securing. How will the community benefit?
Yes, I'm coming there, Chair.
Okay.
Yes, so we wanted to enhance, we've always wanted to enhance the revenue base of the local authority. And with the suspension of, or the removal of the 20% from the local government equalization fund, we thought of applying to CDF for help so that we can be assisted, so that we can work on our commercial venture, which we feel is very viable. And with the enhanced revenue collection, definitely the money that is realized from there is plowed back to the community, because that's the money that will be used to provide services to the community. So, Chair, it's because of the liquidity, challenges that we've been facing as Mbala Municipal Council. And that's the reason why we are left with no option but to knock on doors where we feel we can get help. So the plan that we have is that we revamp most of the ventures so that we can have enough local revenue, which will still go to the community through services that we provide. I don't know if I've even answered Honorable Mlunda's question.
He says you haven't. Yes, you may refresh the mind.
Yeah. Yes, I hear you.
TC.
But, sorry. TC, I hear you. But what you are saying is not even remove of the 20%. It has now been given to you. That one used to belong to the community. 20% you give it to the community, you do community service, but now it has been given to you. Meaning, now you can work around using that fund to do what you want to do, like the commercial venture that you are doing. Because CDF, my colleague, is worried that if we are saying community projects is 3 million, then you get 1 million out of that. How will the community feel? Because in the first instance, you are not supposed to do that, because the 20% now has been given to you as local authorities. That now remains with the community. So who approved, if there is an approval, who authorized that you can get money from the community projects and bring it to the council operations? Is it the BDS? Because that money belongs to the people, so it starts from there, and finally the CDF committee. But has the community consented to that? That's the word.
Have you got it now?
I'll try, Chair, to respond. Thank you, Honorable. It's true the 20% is now part of the operational funds that we have as local authorities. But just like we've stated in the report, Chair, in its form, currently, the local government equalization is not even able to cater for salaries of all the employees. And that's the reason why we are even incurring these other queries where we were borrowing from the capital project money. So, Chair, it's because of the liquidity position of the local authority, and that's the reason why we said we cannot just let these facilities, just go to waste. Let's revamp so that we can enhance service provision to the community.
Chair, follow up.
Honorable Mulunda, then Honorable.
We appreciate Town Clerk, actually, that you are struggling. But maybe let me know, how much do you make, how much do you generate as a local authority, and how much do you receive as a local government equalization fund? How much do you receive, and then what is your wage bill?
Yes, Town Clerk.
Thank you, Chair. I will allow the DF to come in.
Director of Finance.
Thank you, Chair. If I would take the Honorable Committee to page 5 of the report, that
Yes, DF.
Thank you, Chair. You find that, Chair, you find that the interpretation of the figures on Table 2 are what made the Town Clerk lament on the issues of inadequate revenue base of the Council. Local generated revenues budget for 2023, for instance, Chair, was 4.8 million for a municipal council. If you look at certain town councils are even in much better standing in terms of revenue base, meaning that even if we are to collect 100% of this local budgeted local revenue, it may not go round to service the wage bill of the council and indeed provide meaningful services.
How much is your wage bill?
The wage bill is about, that is gross, is close to 3 million per month.
Against an annual collection of projected 5.2 million.
Chair, I can't get you, Chair.
I'm saying 3 million per month against an annual local generated income of 5.2 million kwacha a month.
4.8.
This is what you collected. The budget is 4.8. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes. Against
3 million, if it is to be at gross. Because at the moment, from the certain items of the report, we are saying that we owe a lot of settled bodies a lot of money. Currently, the bill, the indebtedness of the council standard.
No, that wasn't the question. We wanted to know your income versus your monthly budget.
Okay.
Honorable members, Mbala has a monthly, their salaries, wage bill, it goes to about 3.1? 3 million. Their annual locally generated funds is 4.8. Yes, Honorable Mteno.
So thank you, Chair. It calls for concerted efforts. You are a municipality, so don't be comforted to say some councils are even doing better than Mbala. No. We are Zambia. So don't be comforted to say some countries are doing far much better than Zambia. So the question is, how are we going to improve our local generated income? That aside.
Yes, Town Clerk.
That aside, Chair. Does or has Mbala received the devolutional, you call it what? The DF? Have you or not?
Chair, we haven't yet started receiving.
Why?
But there is a budget of 8,340,000.
Why?
We have disbursement haven't yet commenced, Chair.
All right. You heard the honorable members saying the 20% has not been taken away or abolished. It has been given to you. So after having been given, even when you said it has been abolished, I scratched my head. This year is 2023. Was it abolished in 2023?
I will call upon Town Clerk when he's done to answer.
So 2020, I may now be answering myself. 2023, 20% was not abolished. So why didn't you use the 20%? They went to get to CDF to do their own commercial project. 1 million.
Ask them a question. Honorable Mteno.
The question, Chair,
Yes,
is that the question is that, like my colleague is lamenting, we shouldn't see CDF as very easy money and we can divert it anywhere. We have got the Land Development Fund. Have you applied for that? Did you get it? How much did you get?
Thank you, Chair. I can respond?
Yes, please.
Yes. Yes, we were privileged to be supported with 2.5, which we used to open up roads in one of the areas that we had, in fact 3 areas that we had opened to the public some years back.
Yes, Honorable
Chair, you know, Town Clerk, your worry is the income. So I'm not saying you should use that, land development, but it's at least if you have gotten a 500, that where I'm opening the roads, I want people to be able to go nicely to our lodge, to Grasshopper Lodge, so that you're able to get something. Why we are worried about CDF? CDF has its specifications. What else you can maybe play around with another fund which you can ask your parent ministry. No, want this money. But CDF, unfortunately, CDF is strictly for that. And when we start finding monies for CDF for the community going into operations, we get worried. You are not the only council, but maybe some other council is, doing what you are doing. They are emulating you. At the end of the day, we find CDF will be revolving. We had a problem even when we started as a committee, Local Government Accounts Committee, where the 20% was always used within the CBD. They are buying chairs, they are constructing an ablution where they will be getting a bit of money. Out there, people are not serviced. So please, I thought I should make that comment.
Yes, Honorable Dr. Manza.
Okay, we can go to page 28. Page 20.
As we are leaving this question, Dr. Manza, just a moment. How do we intend to heal this problem where the wage bill is 10 times bigger, 11 times bigger than what you are able to generate as a local authorities? What measures are you putting in place to make sure that you generate your own revenues as a municipal council?
Thank you, Chair. The measures that we are putting in place as a council is to broaden the revenue base through various commercial ventures. So the same grasshopper, it's one of those ventures that we are looking up to. And then also, like in 2023, like stated in the report, we had 2 ventures that we did not operationalize due to funds. So we are saying, in fact, the plan that we had then was that if we realize enough money through the rates, all those activities were going to be implemented, because we had earmarked about 11 programs that we wanted to work on. So we have a number of ventures that we've also included in the 2025, and we are yet to sit with our parent ministry to see how they can help us in actualizing.
What are the major economic activities in Mbala?
Chair, in Mbala we have agriculture and trade. And then also one of the long-term solution that we are looking up to is the program of opening the border there. It has been earmarked to be a one-stop border post. So that program is being implemented through Ministry of Commerce. So it's just our appeal as a local authority that if that program could be implemented, I think that will be the solution to Mbala, because it's going to enhance regional trade, and then also Nakonde border post there will be discongested, and as a local authority we are going to benefit through the improved trading, which is a comparative advantage that we have from others.
We're supposed to do that. I'm worried, that's why I'm asking you questions like this. You have the money, Mbala Municipal Council. You have the money planned nicely to expand your revenue base. Then you decide to pay yourselves and wait for who to come and invest for the council?
I can respond to that, Chair.
No. Honorable Dr. Manza.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Well, page 28, you have unspent funds. Despite all these financial problems, you had unspent funds of 1,518,219. And you explained that these funds are as a result of closing balance, bank account balances as of 31st December 2023, whose expenditures were actioned in the first quarter of 2024. So you've referred us to Appendix 4, which is a very bulky document. It is on a, yeah. So on Appendix 4, I want to see in terms of bank account balances, how much was in a salaries account, how much was in a, because this is your explanation here, that these unspent funds, they were as a result of bank balances in different bank accounts. So want to see how the 1.5 million is accounted for based on the different bank balances, those bank accounts. Then the second one is you said the action taken is that you have utilized the money on operations and capital components as planned. So we want to see how much of this 1.5 million was spent on the operations and how much was spent on the capital projects as planned.
Yes, Town Clerk, you may respond.
Thank you, Chair. I will refer the questions to the Director of Finance.
Yes, Director of Finance.
Chair, if you were to go through the bank statements that I've secreted for this afternoon, sorry we brought them this late, but even the Appendix 4, we have the major component of 1.5 million was the money that was in the main account, which is a grant receiving account from the ministry. So during 2023, towards the end of the year, I think should have been towards as we are closing the year, we received the Local Government Equalization Fund, which was the 1,069,000 thereabout, meant for payment of salaries, meaning that the huge chunk of that money was meant for salaries, which were paid in January, first week of January. So the others are small project funds, like funds for ECZ, funds for rural water, which are sort of slow in terms of being spent because of certain conditionalities that are involved in those projects.
There are more hands, meaning you've explained too much. Yes, Dr. Manza, then Honorable Mtelo.
The question is very simple. You have given us Appendix 4, just as thick as this.
Yes.
And in the whole Appendix 4.
And there's addition also.
Yes, it is just answering to this query. So I asked you a deliberate question to say, your explanation here, it must tally with the information that you provide in such a thick booklet. You said that the balances are in different bank accounts. What was difficult? Why we couldn't prepare just a one-page ledger in front before all these submissions? You state in this bank account, this was the balance. This bank account, this was the balance. This bank account, this is the balance. And then you submit all these. Also on operations. Operations, I've been going through these receipts. All I find is that it's just about purchase of lunch, milk, and so on and so forth. You know, so I just landed only on one capital project, which is Grasshopper Inn. The same project that you have also borrowed, that you have also been funded by CDF, 1 million kwacha. There is a Grasshopper Inn project here, signed to a contractor, Mfambo Construction. Contract sum 356,237, and he was paid advance payment for the construction of a conference hall. 2 weeks, 2 months construction period. This is the same Grasshopper Inn that we are talking about. So, whilst I discovered this information here, what is the status on this contract for Grasshopper Inn, and what type of work which is not incorporated in this contract, whose funding was from your locally generated resources, that you are now seeking 1 million from the CDF on the same premises?
Yes, Town Clerk.
Thank you, Chair. Actually, the project that we signed is the renovation of the conference center, which was supposed to be done from the capital funds. So, Chair, like I explained earlier, we had scope of works that were put across, and with the coming of the engineers, they looked at it holistically, and actually what is required for renovation of the Grasshopper is close to 10 million. I think we have the report through the engineer that is speaking to that. So that 1 million was just going to be a drop in the ocean, because we had applied for more actually, and the CDF committee felt of giving us a 1 million. So we have a number of works, Chair.
No, through you, Chair. You have signed a contract at a scope of work that would cost 356,237. It doesn't matter that you are doing it in stages, but that contract is ring-fenced for a certain scope of work, and he was paid already almost close to 90,000 kwacha advance payment, 2 months construction period for that particular contract. My question is, what is the status of the on that part of the contract for 2 months for that particular contractor to Grasshopper Inn?
Yes, Town Clerk.
Yes, Chair, let me allow the engineer to come in. I wanted just to provide a background information, but I think he can respond to that.
Engineer.
Thank you so much, Chair. Looking at the appendix that we just submitted this afternoon, there's the first report showing the
on the first one.
It's the first one. Yes, that's the report that was done on 16th September 2024. Now, if you look at the third and fourth page of the report, is a table recommending allocation of funds to the whole facility, and the buildings that are there are broken down, and the one in question is the last one, Grasshopper Conference Hall. So as opposed to the 356,000 that was allocated, the scope did not involve the important components of renovating the building. We are talking about a building that was built some 40 or so years ago, and then the only scope that was included in the 356 was just painting and putting tiles. So from an engineering perspective, we cannot allow further expenditure on such a building if we are to put tiles on a building that needs structural maintenance. So the structural maintenance that is supposed to be done on this building involves changing of the roof because water ponds, and changing the roof structural timber, which was not considered in the first scope.
Okay, may I start with the Honorable Mtialo, then you come in, Honorable Mnat.
Okay, Chair. We are on page 28. So number 1, where is the plan showing the operations and capital component? Then the question, before we lose it, how much for operations out of the 1.5, and how much for capital component? That's what we wanted. And then clarification from DF. Did you say you had then received 1,600,000 as equalization fund? Do you receive 1,600,000 as equalization fund in Mbala?
Sorry, Chair, I said 1,069,000.
1,069,000.
Yes, that was what we received as net after deduction from source.
I want to hear you correct. 1,069,000 what? Oh. What's your current equalization fund now? Okay. So where is the plan?
Sorry, Chair, I did not summarize the content of Appendix 4. However, within it, there are sub ledgers for each account on how the monies were spent.
I hear you. Have you heard my question? You've said as planned. So your committee is interested in the plan. Where is the plan?
Sorry, Chair. What we meant in the report was that the monies which are stated to have been unspent at the close of December 2023, they were meant for various programs, some of which is issues of disbursement of salaries. And some of the accounts, some of the bank accounts that are stated under the same 1.5 million are project related. Some of them are ECZ funds. So I wish I had made a summarized table to summarize this, Chair.
So what is the problem? We don't want to generate answers for ourselves. Do you have that plan for the various things you've mentioned?
Of course, Chair, we have the plans for various accounts that we have.
Where is that plan?
It may not be with us today, sir, Chair.
Honorable Mulonda.
Chair, maybe because I stepped out, but I'm getting a little bit, I don't want to say confused, no. But from the submission from the engineer here, engineer said we decided to work the 300,000 that my colleague was talking about. We decided to work on the paintings and the tiling somewhere here and there. Again, the engineer said, no, we don't want to be spending on something that the structure is actually not okay. We need to remove the roofing. So where are we? What are we doing? Why did you put the money in the first place? How would you paint something that you know you're going to tomorrow remove even the roof? You're going to do all those things. Why are we injecting 1 million from CDF on something that which structure actually is not recommendable from the engineer's eye, that we can't put this money in there? So how did we arrive there? Because that is what you are submitting, that this structure actually, that's what I was saying. If you want to put up something for repairs, for 10 million repairing a building, Intercontinental Hotel or something like that, because 10 million you can put up a very good structure that will start running and start giving you money on its own, standalone like that. Out of 10 million you would put a good number of rooms. Maybe you start with 20 or so, you put them. But you want to take 10 million, so no, actually want to renovate this one. After some time you remove the roof. After you've painted, you put the tiles, and then you remove the windows. Because so what's the planning around that thing? Let's just be moving slow, so that at least the followers and us, we are able to say these people, where they are putting the money, there will be dividends. Where they are putting the money, the people out there and even the local authority will be able to benefit. Because definitely, engineer, you put a tower and then tomorrow you are pulling the building down. So what are we doing?
Before you come in, Dr. Mwanza, yes, engineer, you may comment.
Thank you so much, Chair. If we look at the contract for 356, that had the scope of painting and changing the tiles, putting the doors, and also putting the ceiling. You discover that was done before the institution received engineers. So now when the engineers came in, that is when we had to evaluate the ongoing project. In as much as an advance of 89,000 had been paid, we felt as engineering that there's no way we could recommend that the institution continues spending on this scope, because it does not meet the true reflection, or it does not show what the building really needs. And after we did an assessment, we discovered that the scope of work that was in the contract was not what was supposed to be done. That is why the report attached as Appendix 13 shows that we recommended that we rescope the works.
The expert, Dr. Mansa.
I hear you. I've checked your assessment report. It was done on 16th September 2024, whereas the contract, which was worth 356, was signed on 20th November 2023. Of course, you take the blame on the technical staff that was there to give this contract of works that would not add any value to the full objective of the building. Now, we are interested to know, has the contract been terminated? And if terminated,
maybe let's ask him, has the contract been terminated? Yeah. So that you ask him a proper question after that.
The contract has not been terminated, but works have been halted.
Dr. Manza?
Okay, works have been halted pending the rescoping that you are talking about. You are going to rescope. I can see that your budget line for just your conference hall is more than 2 million kwacha. So you are rescoping, and after rescoping, you are you're using the same contractor to do the rescoped work, or
can I respond?
Yes,
Chair?
yes, please go ahead.
Thank you. So, Chair, the mistake was on our part. That is why we are trying to tread very carefully, instead of just terminating the contract where we have even paid some advance. So the plan is, when we have the resources available, the rescoped work will have to be procured using the EGP system, which EGP system even will allow other people to participate. But the procurement guidelines, as advised by the procurement officer, is that we can even give the contractor preference, that is, if he meets the new requirements of the rescoped works.
Honorable Mtila.
Number one, where will the resources come from to meet what you are advising now? Number two, what if the contractor who has been halted could not meet the requirements, and you would have already paid that contractor some advance? What happens?
Let me respond to the second question as to what if the contractor does not meet the qualifications for the rescoped works. If that happens, then the contractor can not be given the works, because that will be against the law. As to the first one, where the money, the funds will have to come from, I think my TC would help.
Before you leave, through your chair, you've already paid some advance to this contractor. Yes? Has he done some works?
Yes.
So is the works done equal to the amount paid?
Yes, Chair.
Or you are just trying to comfort the committee?
No, Chair, I wouldn't love to mislead the committee. The contractor has done some works.
This grasshopper, is it one building or it's like the National Assembly which has many components? You've seen this is the committee section. We have our main building, we have other buildings within the National Assembly, but it's called the National Assembly of Zambia. Does it have one building or it has many other buildings that make it grasshopper? I want the town clerk to answer this one. I know that you know that whether it's one building, you don't need the engineer to answer that.
Yes, thank you, Chair. That's what I wanted to give when I was responding earlier, that what is composed in the Grasshopper Lodge, it's various facilities. So we have 2 houses that are having a number of rooms in each, and then we have the conference center sitting on its own, and then we have the restaurant and the bar, which are also on the other side. So there are a number of facilities that are forming the Grasshopper Lodge. So like if you see the same report which the engineer was referring to, so we have about 4 phases that have been listed in the report. So Chair, just to answer your question, there are various facilities that are forming the Grasshopper.
Would you agree with me that if management had wanted to really work on this building, it would have even done 2 components by now?
You are right, Chair, and that's the reason why we are saying we are prioritizing the bar for now, because we know that once we operationalize the bar, we'll be able to get some income. And then also the houses that we have, they are also falling in the second phase, because even those 2 houses, they also have a number of rooms that once renovated, they will help. And then we also have the chalets, like we had indicated in the report, where we had realized some funding. So those have already been renovated and they are operational, and we are able to get some income from there, Chair.
You had money, Town Clerk, 5.6 million kwacha, and you had plans to undertake capital projects. I've looked at your report. Some of these buildings, it's just 1 million kwacha, 1.1, but you decided to take 3.7 million to salaries instead of implementing, on projects that would enhance your revenue base. Hence my earlier question, that would you agree if the will was there, these projects, 2 of the 4 components would have been done?
Chair, I agree with you. Chair, we are coming from the background where,
You agree with me?
Yes.
You can end there. Can we move to other questions, honorable members?
The question was not answered. Where will the resources be coming from? Because they had asked for 10 million from CDF. That's our worry.
Can we move to the other questions?
And the CDF,
I'll call for consultations on this matter.
Exactly.
They will not give us the answers that we seek. Can we move to other questions if we have got any other concerns? Yes, Honorable Dr. Manza.
Yes, I have a different question.
Yes, please.
But still on this odd one, just an advice, they should write a letter to the contractor. Because is it just an agreement where they just agreed to say stop these works, and yet they are not paying him? They only paid him 90,000 kwacha, which he didn't do any work. Because if you look at the picture here, when you look at the picture here, the engineer says that the scope of work was just involving painting and the tiling. So does this Grasshopper Conference Hall looks like it was painted? No. So the contractor got 90,000 kwacha, he did nothing, based on the instructions of the client to say hot as we rescope the works. So you need to put things in order to write to the contractor officially, and because in future he can claim for delayed payment, and the council will be sued, which will not protect yourselves. Okay, page 27. Page 26. As
Town Clerk, you want to comment?
Yes, just a short comment to
Yes.
Honorable's comment. Actually, it's not like the contractor did not do anything. I think Honorable Fomitete, he asked whether that advance that was paid, the works that were done were like commensurate to the same 25%, which we said yes. So from the advance payment that was made, there is a ceiling that was done, and then also other few works.
TC is complicating. The scope is talking of painting. Now it's gone to ceiling. No wonder the chair said, let's close on this. Let's move to some other questions.
And anyhow, yes, that was advice coming from Dr. Engineer Mwanza. He was advising, you have a signed contract. You have a signed contract with the contract. If I were Dr. Mwanza, I would have asked, you said you've stopped that contractor from proceeding with works. We're going to ask, were those verbal instructions or you wrote? And he was advising you, can you quickly do the correct thing? I thought you were saying that you've taken note. That's why I gave you the...
Okay, Chair, on that one we've taken note. That's exactly what we are going to do.
Honorable Mulunda. Oh, Dr. Mwanza, yes, you.
Yes. So page 26, page 26 is talking about township roads. Provision of services, failure to maintain township roads. There are so many stories here. Council, of course, getting some support from the Land Development Fund, also from the CDF, as well as a devolved transport services, which is road grant, and the own sources to rehabilitate township and rural roads around Mbala. My point of clarification, I just want engineer to let the people of Mbala know how many kilometers have been done on this program, which sections, which side of Mbala, because I was expecting such a table on appendix 21, but there's nothing. How many kilometers have been done? Then second one is on page 27, the last chapter, the last paragraph, second last paragraph. The council, in conjunction with Disaster Management and the Mitigation Unit, has come up with an assessment report and a bill of quantity in respect of the works to be carried out on the unfenced Zambia compound storm drain, which has since been submitted to the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development through the office of the area member of Parliament. How does the area member of Parliament come in this communication where DMMU and the council engineers did the BOQ for this particular stretch? So what role did the area member of Parliament, because you're saying this letter was written to the Minister of Local Government through
office of the area member of parliament.
Yes, Town Clerk.
Yes, thank you, Chair. We've been working hand in hand with the area member of parliament in trying to resolve the numerous problems that we have in the district. And this one, it is one of those problems that have to be resolved, and it requires capital funds. So it is something that the office of the MP has received on numerous occasions as a problem that has to be addressed by the relevant authorities, by the local authority. So now, looking at the funds, so we could not embark on working on the same problem. So we've been working with the MP, and we requested for the BOQ, which we did and submitted to him. Chair, I must also mention that it's not just this where the office of the MP has been very helpful. Like we've already mentioned in the same report, the bridge that has been damaged for so many years, it has remained like that for so many years. So we had to work together with the office of the MP to source for funds through the ARAD Road Development Agency. So we've seen that we cannot work as a local authority alone. We need concerted efforts like Honorable Mitete mentioned. So, Chair, that's the reason why we're mentioning the office of the MP, because he's a critical stakeholder in the district.
Yes, Honorable Mitete.
Who wrote the letter? Sometimes you in explaining a lot, you entangle yourselves. Council is working hand in hand with DMMU. Then through the office of the area member of parliament, we are grateful for the cordial working relationship. Who wrote the letter? Where is the letter?
Chair, we submitted the BOQ, and it is attached as in one of the appendices. So that is what we submitted to the office of the MP.
Okay.
The simple explanation is that these projects, if not worked on, can cause disasters. Hence the engagement of the area member of parliament and DMMU to look for funding to sort out this problem. I wish I was on that chair. Do we have another question? Honorable Mulunda. You can switch on the mic and
yeah, just to give a breakdown of the roads that have been rehabilitated under this program, funding through LDF, Land Development Fund, also CDF, also the devolved transport services.
Yes, Town Clerk.
Chair, I will refer the question to the engineer to help.
Engineer.
Thank you so much, Chair. So the total stretch that has been done using the various funds is 25 kilometers, of which 8 kilometers is from CDF. The roads that have been done under CDF are Lungu Road, Cairo Road, and we are now working on Chulungoma Road. Then we have also done 8.1 kilometers in Kampompo. Various roads have been done, and we have further done 9 kilometers from the land development funds in Lucheche.
Mbala Municipal Council. Would have loved to spend more time with yourselves. Unfortunately, Parliament runs with time. I know even the honorable members have got more questions, but they understand. Most of them are very senior members. So the deliberations here have highlighted several challenges. But before I send you away, not as in we are not admitting your report, I want to first just consult the honorable members on one issue. You can excuse us just for 2 minutes so that we give you the correct advice as you go back. Your immunity remains here while you go outside. We'll come and give it back. Just 2 minutes.
Still being with us on Parliament Television. The Committee on Local Government Accounts has gone on a short break, and they are still receiving submissions from Mbala Municipal Council, and they are considering the report of the Auditor General on the audit of the accounts of local authorities for the financial year ended 31st December 2023. Also to make mention that this committee earlier on did receive submissions from Mporokoso Town Council, which was led by the Council Secretary from Mporokoso Town Council, who is Mr. Henry Swakwi, and the team made their submissions to this committee. Another town council that appeared before this committee in the morning is Mungwi Town Council. They also made their submissions on the consideration of the report of the Auditor General on the audit of accounts of local authorities for the financial year ended 31st December 2023. And the Committee on Local Government Accounts has gone on a short break as they are still receiving submissions from Mbala Municipal Council. And so keep watching Parliament Television and stand by as we continue watching Mbala Municipal Council making their submissions to the Committee on Local Government Accounts.
Love for all my